Hi everybody, Dan Illman along with Matt Bernier. The DRFBets race of the day for Friday, September the 7th, race number 8 at Belmont Park. It's opening day of the Fall Championship meeting. You can bet the race, you can bet the card, you can bet the meet with DRFBets. Sign up, get a 300% deposit match. Deposit 50, bet with 200. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go. Here's the field for the Christiecat Stakes. We're going 6 furlongs on the inner turf for $100,000. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Handicap along with us as we take the field in post position order. Matt, the number 1 Closer Still, one of several horses in this race coming out of the Coronation Cup at Saratoga on July the 30th. And this filly just had a terrible trip. It was just sort of reminiscent of the meet Mark Cassie had.
Yeah, seriously, I think you're just supposed to draw a line through that Coronation Cup for her going into the far turn, checked badly. Really, I don't think anybody would have faulted her for running last at that point. Instead, she comes on with a little bit of a belated run on the far outside, and I guess really with that Coronation Cup, you need to make a little bit of a call because there were a number of horses across the wire, and if you're going to take anybody out of it, outside of the winner and perhaps the third place finisher Lady Subi, I think you want to try to be a little bit more charitable to a horse like Closer Still, who she didn't have any sort of luck in that race.
12-1 on Closer Still switches to the expert turf rider Junior Alvarado, and this filly's got a little bit of underrated speed. If she breaks, she could put herself in a really strong position, and I like her better at 6 than 5.5. Expect a better performance from the 1 Closer Still. The 2 Ms. Mayhem, all she's done is won her last 5 starts sprinting on the turf. She's now with trainer Jason Service, who's not only known as being a guru with turf sprinters, but he basically wins with everything right about now. This horse has good tactical speed. Timeform US has her among the early leaders. Red bar indicates the pace should be fast.
I mean, really, doesn't this boil down to can she handle the class hike? Because from a speed figure standpoint, she makes all the sense in the world. The distance, I don't think, is going to be an issue for her, and it sounds like you can read the race advance over at drf.com. It doesn't sound like the connections are that concerned about the distance as well. I'm curious to see what she's going to do against better horses.
Broadway Run, the number 3, won the Coronation Cup, beat 5 of these common rivals that day. Might be a different pace scenario, though, than the Coronation Cup. If you recall, that day she broke from the far outside post, and before a quarter of a mile was completed, she had actually cleared off to make the lead and the inside, and she kept right on going. Here she might have to work a little bit harder.
Yeah, that's true, but you know what? I think the thing that's supposed to allay any sort of fears, that run 2 starts back, where she sat off the pace, she came with a run. I understand she didn't quite get up in time, but that at least gives you hope or reason to believe that, you know what, she's not dependent on being forwardly placed. And like you say, with that red bar, I don't think she is going to be that close to the pace.
Tesora would really benefit from that red bar. She's the number 4. She's absolutely last on our Timeform US pace projector. She came with a little bit of a run last time out in the Coronation Cup. She was taking a gigantic cutback in distance from 8.5 to 5.5, and she just got outrun early. Better pace situation here. This is a very lightly raced filly going out for a very good trainer.
Yeah, not out of the realm of possibility that she takes a step forward here. You brought up the pace situation most recently in that Coronation Cup. Timeform US has one of those splits color-coded blue, meaning it was going against horses coming from off of it, possibly favoring those forwardly placed horses. If she gets a pace scenario like the pace projector has suggested, then she's interesting.
Matt, I know you're a little bit of a fan of the number 5, Kitten's Cover Girl, and why not? This horse was claimed for $40,000, and all she's done since then is win 2 races, including one with an 87 buyer over 2 next out winners in her most recent start. Also, the 4th place finisher of that last race came back to earn an 87 buyer in her next race when she finished 2nd. Now, Kitten's Cover Girl's been away about 2 months, and she's cutting all the way back in distance. Where do you think she'll be early? Where does she fit from a class standpoint?
You know, I think the slight turn back in distance, that's going to make her be a little bit farther back, I would imagine. I don't think she's going to quite be up there pushing the pace like she was going a route of ground. And I was a little bit disappointed. I would have liked to have seen her in that stakes race up at Saratoga, because going longer, I think she had the ability to be a little bit more forwardly placed. Instead, now you're probably going to be coming from mid-pack, and I'm not totally convinced that that's the best situation for her.
I think the number 6 Factor of 1 has an outside chance for Christophe Clement and Joel Rosario. 2 starts back, beaten by Ms. Mayhem, but she was doing a lot of the dirty work on the lead while Ms. Mayhem sat just off the pace. And then last time out in the Coronation Cup, she was just one of those horses where the trip didn't exactly work out. A fast pace could work to her benefit, and I like her stretching out a half a furlong.
Agreed. I think this is probably a better situation for her, better setup as well from that pace projector. I guess the only thing that I'm a little bit unsure of, we're going through 10 starts now, and these past 5, she's just sort of plateaued in that mid to high 70 range. And I'm not holding the Coronation Cup against her. I'm not totally convinced that you're going to get a giant forward move here, and I think you're probably going to need something in the mid 80 range if you're going to be a threat.
Super Striking, the number 7, is a stakes winner going 2 turns on very soft turf. I still think trainer Michael Trombetta is trying to figure out what kind of filly she is. Is she a turf router? Is she a synthetic horse? Is she a turf sprinter? Last time out, they ran her on the synth for the first time, and she ran okay, although that race hasn't come back very strong just yet.
No, it hasn't. But to be fair, I think you have excuses for why that race has not come back particularly good. Win the War, she ended up running poorly on dirt. She's clearly not a dirt horse, and the 4th place finisher was 4.5 lengths behind the body of the field there in that Duchess. I'm curious. I've always been a fan of this horse. I think she has a little bit of ability. I kind of agree with you in your assessment of what Trombetta may or may not know with her. I don't really know what she wants. I don't know if she's going to be best shorter going 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs on the grass, or if kind of the day that I really fell in love with her was that run back in February at Gulfstream at 1 mile and a 16th. I wonder if ultimately she is going to be more of a router.
Lady Subi is the number 8 going out for trainer Chad Brown. Course and distance winner 3 starts back. We're getting a very nice pocket trip, easing out 3 wide and then running down Conquest Tis Fire in the shadow of the wire. Last time out in the Coronation Cup, hustled early to chase 3 wide, never really got any cover. It was an even performance, but here's a Chad formulator fact. 3rd off the layoff in turf sprints with 3-year-olds over the past 4 years. He's 4 for 9. With over a $5 return on investment. This horse has enough tactical speed to work out an outside tracking trip. And again, she wouldn't be a surprise. And if you could get 4 to 1 or 9 to 2, I think that's fair. She's 6 to 1 on the line.
And it's hard to ignore the fact that her 2 best races to date have been sprints on turf. The run 2 starts back, I understand it was 1 mile, and at Belmont that's sort of a 1-ish turn kind of situation, but her 2 best races very clearly have been going shorter on the grass. That's what she gets to do here again on Friday.
If you read the DRF Advance for this race, David Granning reports that the 9 Street Lady is expected to scratch. She's going to have some throat surgery. So we'll move on to the 10 Mominu, who is the beaten favorite in the Coronation Cup. I thought all in all, Mominu had a decent trip that day. She just didn't fire her best shot. I wonder if she just didn't like the wet course at Saratoga. That Saratoga turf course played weirdly on many, many occasions.
Yeah, it certainly did. And like you say, you're going to have to be sort of wary or cognizant of that going forward with horses coming out of those races. I think it's important that she gets back to Belmont Park. She's never been out of the exacta in 2 lifetime starts. I happen to think her best game is when she's sent and she is more forward as opposed to sitting. And I know she has won from off the pace slightly, but I think she's at her best when she's forward. I don't think she's up there contesting the pace, but I think from that outside draw, I think she sits that perfect sort of stalking trip.
Let's take a look at our top picks for Friday's DRFBets race of the day, the Christiecat Stakes. You're going with closer still. You're getting 12 to 1 on the morning line. I think you can settle into a nice pocket spot.
You know what? I agree with you. You brought up the fact that she has a little bit more early speed than maybe the page would initially suggest. I think she can get a little bit closer. I like that run in the Ginger Brew going all the way back to earlier this year down at Gulfstream. I think she has the ability. And that most recent run, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the Coronation Cup. She had every right to pack it in after that, and she came with a little bit of a bid. I think she's sitting on a better effort. Whether she's good enough or not to win, we'll find out. But I think she's interesting.
Give me numbers.
1375.
I'm going to go with Broadway Run in here. She's 7 to 2, second choice on the morning line behind Ms. Mayhem. Matt mentioned 2 starts back that she showed the ability to sit from off the pace and come with a good run and pass a couple of horses in the stretch. She might have to do that. I still think she is getting better and better as a lightly raced 3-year-old. This is only her 4th lifetime start. I'm hoping that she stays close to that 7 to 2, 3 to 1 on the morning line. I'll go 358 in the Christiecat. This is the DRFBets Friday race of the day, and check out this new offer. A 300% deposit match is yours when you sign up for a DRFBets account at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Christiecat on opening day of the Fall Championship meet at beautiful Belmont Park, 5:18 Eastern. Good luck.